Alberta, Canada, and I am joining you here live on YouTube with the March 2025 Technique Club class. I love Technique Club, and if you come back to join me every month here on YouTube, you can see a different technique using a bundle of the month that I choose for our Technique Club ladies. And this month, we are playing with Storybook Friends. Easter's coming up in April, and this stamp set die bundle, the entire suite is fantastic for all of your spring and Easter projects. I'm just checking my computer here to make sure that I am live in the right spot. I'm just going to refresh and make sure so that I can see your comments. If you're joining me, I'd love to know who's with me, and if you could leave me a comment or a thumbs up and let me know you're with me, that would be super helpful. Even more helpful for myself and yourself is for you to go out and like my page, my YouTube channel. Hi, Gail. Hi, Marlene. Thank you so much for commenting. It's good to see you. Hello, Marie. Hello, hello. Hi, Betty. All right, I can see you guys with me. Oh, Marie. And I'm going to just turn down the volume on my laptop so that I can see your comments, but I don't want to hear my voice coming through the laptop. All righty, I can see you guys here with me. Please feel free, leave your comments, ask your questions. I will keep an eye. I will put my laptop off to the side and I will keep an eye on your comments so that hopefully if you have a question, I can answer it live here with us. Hello, Darby, watching from work. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're playing with Storybook Friends, and I've got three really nice cards to share with you that you can use. Nancy said, I found you live. Yes, you have, Nancy. Thank you for being here with me. I don't think I've ever gone live at this time. So there's no right or wrong way or best time to go live. I'm used to going live at 9 in the morning, but here I am. It's 2 p.m. Thank you for your understanding. I had an appointment this morning, so I couldn't make that 10:30 time work, but thank you for joining me. I have to grab my book. First thing I like to do, Christine Bertram and I collaborate on this class. So friends from the United States, you have received, hopefully you've received your kits from Christine. And then my friends from Canada who have signed up for this class, hopefully you have received your kits and you're ready to grab your 3 card kits and jump in with me, as well as the card kits you also receive in your package, the technique sheet, which describes how to do the technique, and there's a sample of the technique. So you should have received those 2 pieces. These can then go in your technique binder so that when you give your cards away or use your cards, you will still be able to remember the techniques. This is what the feedback I would always get from my Technique Club members over the years. They're like, I love Technique Club, but then I give the cards away and I don't know how to do, I forget how to do the techniques. So I came up with these inserts for your binder. Now you can use whatever binder system you want. Some people are choosing not even to use a binder. They clip them together. They put the sample on one side, the description on the back, punch a hole, and you can put them on a key ring or a binder ring and keep them with your stamping supplies. Whichever way you want to do it works, right? Whatever way system you want to do. I like to use the 6x8 Memories and More albums that we sell with Stampin' Up! And I slip them into the page protectors, and I purchased those online, the 4x6 on top and 4x6 on the bottom. And I know Christine uses a little bit of a different system, but as I mentioned, whatever works for you is just fine. Now I just dropped mine on the floor. Excuse me for 1 second while I reach. And I'm going to grab my binder, my book here, because I want to do a shout out. Christine and I like to shout out to all of our amazing class attendees who have pre-purchased. My club members, they do a minimum $40 order, 10 consecutive months from the month that you join. And then you're going to enjoy the Stampin' Rewards. So the Stampin' Rewards, you can build them up they're going to be changing in the month of April, but right now we are under the current reward program where you get a minimum $75 shopping spree and a half price item for being in the club for 10 consecutive months. So that is a huge thing. And going forward, it's going to get even better with the new reward program, because you're going to be able to accumulate those rewards yourself every single month with your purchase. In Canada, your minimum $25 purchase, you're going to get 10% credit. So, you know, it's up to you. It's like all the other big box stores with their rewards, right? It's going to be up to you how quickly and how much you earn, and you can redeem them whenever you want, not in the month that you are the hostess. So traditionally, I would have to assign months with different people so that we could spread the hostess rewards out. Now it's going to be different starting in April. You're going to be in control of your own rewards. And when you spend them, you can save them up. You can gift them to somebody. You can receive gifts from me or Christine. For me, at the end of 10 months, you're going to have a choice of a half price item of your choice, because I'm going to stick with that. Or I have a box of goodies that you're going to be able to choose a surprise. So some people like surprises. Some people like to choose their rewards. So I'm going to give you the choice at the end of your 10 months. So if you live in Canada and you want to join, you can join any month you want. And you can join for the month of actual March. I have 3 extra kits left if you want to join in Canada. Christine has let me know that she, with her list she sent across to me, and she says that she doesn't have any kits left. So she sold out for the month of March, but I still have 3 left. If somebody likes what they see today and would like these kits sent to you, let me know. Okay, let's do a shout out. I always like to shout out to the ladies who are in the club. Now, I'm not excluding men. You could have a guy in your club. That would be fun too. Guys can stamp just as well as ladies. We have some amazing Stampin' Up! Demonstrators in our Stampin' Up! Family that are guys, and they are super creative. And there's a place for everyone, right? Okay, let's do a shout out to our club members. And so from Christine's list, we have Faylene Mays, we have Lynn Beasley, Sherry Martin, Linda Scott, Barbara Rudolph, Mary Jo Stoll, Leslie McMinn, Karen Woods, Sandy Coy Emery, Kelly Gibson, Carla Lake, Christina Heiser, Vicky Rodriguez, Nicole Herrick, Angelique McClendon, and Becky Rower. So congratulations, ladies. I'm so excited you're here with me, and I hope you have fun with your kits, and I hope you have fun putting these cards together and learning this new technique. Here in Canada, we have a number of ladies in our club. I'm going to list the names now. Yay, Lynn is here. Thank you so much, you guys. And I got the pleasure of meeting several of you from Christine's group this past week when we were in Raleigh, North Carolina for the On Stage. So thank you for coming up and introducing yourself. I loved meeting you all. That is definitely a highlight of my trip, meeting other demonstrators. So exciting. Okay, so we have from Canada, we have Amanda Woods, Dawn McMillan, Kim Campbell, Penny Lane, Kim Barraclough, Colleen Winter, Debbie Smith, Candace Oliver, Alexina Walsh, who's here with us. Hey, yay, Alexina. Penny Martin, Gail Stefan, who's also here with us. Yay, Gail. Thank you for being here. Bernice Panchishin, Cheryl McMillan, Lynn Dralich, Linda Norman, Krista Smith. I'm not sure. I think I might have seen Krista's name come through. Hello, Krista. Marie Lefebvre, who's here with us. Hello, Marie. Kathy Clark, Kathy Slager, and Jen. So welcome, everyone. Let's get started on the March 2025 Technique Club class. Alrighty, so just bear with me. I'm going to flip my camera and point you down at my work surface. For this class, you will be needing a Memento, ink pad, and then some coloring tools. My favorite are the blends, and I have on my desk Boho Blue, Crumb Cake, Petal Pink, Old Olive, and a little bit of Pecan Pie. We might throw in a little bit of that. So I'm using blends, but you could use watercolor pencils or markers, whatever your favorite way to color. Grab those tools. If you're watching the replay, you could pause now and grab those inking supplies. You get better at pronouncing the. I'm getting better, am I? Marie is my French friend, and I struggle with some of the how to pronounce the French names, but she says I'm getting better. So thank you. Thank you for the feedback, Marie. Alrighty, here we go. We're gonna flip the camera, and I'm just gonna tilt my camera to point you down at my work surface, and we'll get started on these 3 fun cards. Here we go. Flipping. There we go. Okay, so there's a look at my work surface, and I'm going to bring in the bundle that I am playing with this week, or today, I mean. I'm used to focusing on a product every single week, so that's why I said that. This month, we are playing with Storybook Friends. Now, if you didn't purchase Storybook Friends, you can still do your cards. You can just substitute for whatever it is you have at home. It's not required to have the bundle, but it is if you want to make the cards exactly as I'm going to show you, this is the bundle you would need. So Storybook Friends, that's the item code. Same item code in the US, but this is the Canadian price. So it'll be a little bit different for my American friends. So the bundle is amazing. You're going to get the 17 photopolymer stamps as well as the set of, I think it's, what does it say? Set of 11 dies. So let me just pull those out here because we're going to be using those. And we are going to start off with the package that has the Old Olive card base. All right, so I'm just going to bring that in. So from that card base, you want to grab all of your supplies here. We've got a piece of Old Olive cardstock. And all the measurements and everything will be in the PDF, which is part of being in this club as well. You get all of the measurements and the instructions and the replay of this video to help you along. So whether you don't do these cards today or you do them like 6 months from now, all the information will be there for you to help support you with this technique club. So this card base here, the Old Olive, we've got a score line in the front. So we're going to fold that back to make a flap. I'm just going to grab my bone folder and we're going to just score those or reinforce those score lines. So we've got our score line here for the center of the card, and then we've got our flap for the front. Then we've got some die cuts. These are the die cuts from the Storybook Friends dies. This one here, I love the big frames. Let me just pull those out. I just want to do a shout out to these because these are absolutely stunning. They're so detailed. We've got an oval, we have a rectangle, and then we have one here that's like a rectangle with a rounded top. So beautiful. And then we have all of these dies that coordinate with the stamped images, right? Or the images, so you can stamp them and then die cut them. Love it. And it's a photopolymer stamp set, so I'm a big fan of die cutting the shape and then stamping. It's totally a personal preference. You can do that with this one. Okay, so I'll leave those dies there. What we're doing for this card, we're using the rectangle detailed die, and those have already been cut for you with pecan pie. Now, when you cut these out, I should mention that the center also cuts out. So for this one, I held on to the center. And so we've got our pecan pie frame and then the middle as well. So then what I did was I took this die and the designer series paper. There's a sheet of 12 by 12 paper that has all of these houses all over the place. So I took my die and I went in and I cut all of these houses. So everybody's going to have a little bit of a different house featured for their card. So we've got a little country house there. Then we've got a scrap piece of white. We're going to use that to stamp our hedgehog. Let me show you the card. I don't think I showed you the sample card. This is the card that we're making. It's a Hello Friend card. And the inside, I stamp thank you very much, but you could stamp whatever you like on the inside. And actually, as I mentioned in the beginning, if you don't have Storybook Friends and you've received these club card kits, you could stamp anything that you want on this piece of white. So it can be any critter, any focal image that you want, and then you'll just need a greeting small enough to fit on the petal pink die cut that we've given you for your, like for me, I used Hello Friend, but you could use something else. And then you have your designer series paper featuring the Old Olive pattern. So that's going to go on the side flap over here. And then we've got some bling here. These are the textured, adhesive back textured dots. I love these little dots. These are so versatile. I need to order another couple packs because I'm completely out of them. I love them so much. To me, they have little tiny divots in them or little bumps in them. They almost look like little golf balls, brown golf balls. So those are really, really nice for both masculine and feminine cards, and we're using them on these spring cards. Okay, and then we have a piece of our basic beige. I love this basic beige color. It's a very neutral color that you can use to stamp on. You can use it the same as you would for vanilla or basic white. So we're going to use that for the inside of the card. Okay, so let's just get our glue flowing here. And we'll put down the side panel of Designer Series paper. So my glue has not been used since this morning. Oh, there we go. It's back in action. Okay, so a little bit of glue there. And we're going to just put that panel on the side over here. I love the tone on tone of the old olive on the old olive. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and let's do our stamping of our hedgehog on the white piece. So let's move all my little pieces off to the side, and we're going to do our stamping of the hedgehog. So I've got that on a block here, and I'm going to use Memento, and we're going to stamp on here. Tap, 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 and we're going to stamp right there. Then I'm going to bring in my blends markers to color this little hedgehog. So let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So we've got the little hedgehog, and I'm going to bring in a little bit of I have pecan pie. Let's use light pecan pie, and I'm just going to accentuate his little spines, his little porcupine. They're not porcupine spines, but the little quills. If you've ever seen a hedgehog in real life, my son Andrew used to have a hedgehog. So I got to witness these little pointy, spiky things firsthand when we had little Tibby living with us. They're super cute. Their faces are adorable. But sometimes when they're scared, you can't see their little faces because they pop. What that means is their quills will stand up. So just beware of that. Okay, so I'm just highlighting the hedgehog with the pecan pie, and then I'm going to bring in crumb cake, and we're going to blend this in. And I don't want to blend it too much. Actually, I'm going to use dark crumb cake to do that. So you can use dark crumb cake and let that pecan pie be the star. You don't need to blend it out. Okay, so here we go. I'm just coloring all of this. And then I'll do his other little hand over here. And then we're going to do his feet and his belly and his face in light crumb cake. I want a lighter shade on his face. Okay, so there's that. Now we've got light crumb cake. Let's do the fine tip to do his little feet and his belly just above his apron or her apron. And then we'll do some crumb cake on the face like that. So stinking cute. Okay, so there's my little hedgehog. For the apron, we're going to bring in petal pink, and we're going to add light petal pink on the center of the apron, like that. And then we're going to trim the apron with the dark petal pink. So I'm going to use the fine tip and just go along the edge here and the scallop trim on the apron. Isn't that super cute? I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so now we're going to grab from the dies. We have a die for all of these little animals. So we're going to grab the hedgehog die, put that on. Hi, Tanya from Florence, Kentucky. Good to have you with us. Thanks for joining. Okay, so we're adding that to the front of the image, and I'm going to use a little bit of Post-it tape. We're going to just anchor this down so that it doesn't move. I'm going to use 2 pieces because I really want to make sure this doesn't move. I spent all that time coloring. I want to make sure that it cuts out the way I want it to. So press your tear and tape. I keep calling it tear and tape. It's Post-it tape. Okay, so now we're going to cut this. So let me back out a little bit so you can see my surface. I'm going to bring in my mini boss, We're going to grab my mini boss here. Love my mini boss. And I love that the dies from this set will fit. So if you've purchased the mini boss and you love it, you can definitely make this work with your mini boss. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to turn it around. All of the dies, even this one, see? They will all fit on the platform. So you can have fun with this one. Okay, so we're putting the hedgehog on here, and then we're going to push that in a little bit, and then I'll do my little bit of yoga, put my thumb on the bottom, put my hands at the top, and then we're going to roll it through. Okay, so now quick and easy fun stuff. Here we go. We've got our hedgehog, and we're going to peel this off. Peel off your Post-it tape, and you can use this. Again, I like to stick it on the top of my handle of my machine so that it's ready for the next time. But there's my cute little hedgehog ready to go onto my card. Okay, so the inside, let's do the inside. The inside of the card is going, and the front. So on the front, petal pink, I'm going to stamp the stamp that says, "Hey, hello, friend." Hello, friend. And you know what? I can always use a thank you card. So I think I'm going to grab the thank you so very much. There's some other images here. You could do happy spring. And then on the inside, you could do Easter greetings. It's totally up to you. You can mix and match all of these greetings. So we're going to stamp hello, friend on this petal pink die cut right here. Hover over top and then stamp straight down. So hello, friend. And then the inside of my card is the basic beige, and I'm going to stamp thank you so very much. Stamp that right there. Alrighty, so I can put the lid on my memento, put that safely away, and we can then put this on the inside of the card. And let's see. I'm going to show you how to put this frame together with the little country house. Okay, so this is going on the inside of the card, like that. And then when we close it up, the frame is going to sit right here. Okay, so it's going to attach to the front flap so that it opens like so. Super easy. But let me show you what's happening here. So I remember I shared how I cut this using that die. So the die, all of these dies, they cut out the center frame as well as the outside frame. So I used it to cut pecan pie, and I got this one. I also used it to cut the country house. So to get that to stay in there, we're going to flip it over, flip it upside down, and put your country house. Look at the back side. It's got vegetables. So just put the country house down, and then we're going to use a little bit of tear tape, and we're going to use that to anchor this down. So let's just come in here. I'm just going to put it right on the very edge like that. And I don't want to have too much out over the edge, because when I close up my card, I don't want it to be on the pecan pie too much, because it'll be too sticky and then it'll close my card shut, and that's not what I want. So I just want it like that. And then we're going to take this piece of pecan pie and we're going to put it over top just to cover up the inside. And I'm not going to peel off my adhesive. I'm going to leave it there. The purpose of it is just to hold those two pieces together, but I'm going to add glue to the center. And then I'm going to bring this pecan pie back in. Now, if you were doing this at home, you could use a bigger piece of pecan pie if you want to. The purpose is just to close up the back side of this frame. Okay, so now we have one complete piece. The hello friend is going to go up here like that. But first things first, let's put this on the flap. So the flap is here, and I want to center this in the front of the card. And I'm deliberately covering up the inside greeting so that in the closed position, we don't see the greeting, but when you open it, you can see it. Okay, so here we go. We're centering this frame, and what I'm going to do is actually flip it over. I'm going to put glue only on the part that I want to be stuck down. So over here, we're coming around. We're just going to add glue to about that much. That's as much as I want to have adhesive on, right? So then let's flip that back over, and we'll go ahead and center that again. Remember, the liquid glue is super sticky, so it will hold all this down. Just give it a minute to adhere. And if anything oozes out through those openings, you can go ahead and blot that, get that off. Okay, so here we have it. Now you can see from the back, there's no glue back here. This is what I meant. You don't want to put glue on this part of the frame because when you close this and put it in the envelope, the person who receives it won't be able to open it because it'll be glued shut. Don't want that, right? Okay, so now let's put Hello Friend up here like that. So I wanted to put the frame down first so then I can size up where this Hello Friend is going to go. You don't want it to stick off the edge of the card because then you won't be able to fit it in your envelope. So I'm just going to use my liquid glue and put some little taps of glue right there on the frame. I'll hold that up close so you can see. I've just put a little bit of glue. And then you can also use your silicone mat to help you like this. So silicone mat is definitely one of my favorite things in my craft room. So I'm going to use this as a background in case any glue comes out the back. It'll go onto my silicone mat and not onto my card. Okay. So there we go. See that? That's what I wanted to do. I don't want the excess glue on that frame. I want it on my silicone mat. Now, when glue is on your silicone mat, you have two choices. You can let it dry and you can peel it up, or you can take a wipe and just wipe it off. So amazing, the silicone mat. And then we're going to take the little hedgehog and she's going to sit down here like this. She's looking at that country house. She's going to go in there to the kitchen and do some cooking. This is such a cute little image. I love the hedgehog. I'm going to grab 2 dimensionals and pop up the hedgehog. And we're going to put that right down here in the corner. I love the look. She's like looking up at that beautiful home. And there we have the front. And the inside of the card is a thank you card. Last but not least, we've got our embellishments. We can bling up this card because no card is complete without some kind of a fun embellishment, whether it be ribbon or gems, whatever it is you like, right? So we're going to just go ahead here. And if you're joining me, I'd love to hear from you. Join the live chat. I'm watching out of the corner of my eye. I can see your comments. So let me know where you're joining me from. It's always fun to know who's with me. So I'm going to use these little textured dots and we're going to put one down here on the front of the card. And then the other 2, we're going to scatter about. We're going to put one up here. And I think I'll put the 3rd one right on the greeting. Well, thank you, Marjan. Thank you so much. I think I said your name right. I'm so happy you like this card. I love it too. I think the hedgehog is super cute. Now, this style of card, you could totally change up which of your characters that you put on the front of your card, right? So as you can see, the stamp set has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters that could go on the front as a focal point. So I just chose the hedgehog, but you could choose anyone that you like. Okay, so that's the first card. We're going to go on to the second card now. And this card, let me show you what it looks like. We're going to make a happy spring card. Today is the first day of spring, is March 20th. And I'm so excited for spring. And spring brings so much joy and happiness. And I love everything about the paper. The Designer Series paper has all of the spring gardening tools. And this cute little bunny holding his lettuce, his head of lettuce, is so adorable. And then the inside, we put another little bunny in here. So you'll need a few more colors to color your bunny if you want to color it the same as mine. But use what you have at home, right? And then it says somebody loves you. So let's go ahead and make this card. So in your package, you're going to have boho blue as your card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. You're going to have 2 pieces of the pecan striped, center striped ribbon. You will have your gems here, your die cuts, and your outside die cut. Thanks, Lynn. Happy you like this one. And Marie says she loves that color combo. Yes, I do too. Okay, so we've got a big piece of Very Vanilla for the inside, and then you will have another piece of Very Vanilla that's been embossed with the Distress Tiles embossing folder. So then we're going to go ahead and put the piece of Designer Series paper with the tools on top of this embossed piece. So let's start there. I'm going to use my liquid glue and put a generous amount on the top on this piece of DSP. Generous, if my glue wants, yes, there we go. Okay, and you want to use a generous amount because you're sticking this onto the embossed piece, so it's bumpy, right? If you're going to stick something flat onto a bumpy edge, you want to make sure you use lots of glue, good strong glue. Okay, so then, yeah, I agree. I love this ribbon for this card. We're going to use this ribbon and we're going to make a faux bow. Okay, so with a faux bow, you don't put any glue on the front of the card. We're going to put adhesive, tear and tape adhesive on the back of the card at the top. So like this. And this is Christine's, she calls this a tear and tape sandwich. So I'm going to put 2 pieces here on my thumb and I'm going to use 2 more pieces to add to the sides here at the top. Okay, burnish that, make sure it's stuck down, and then you're going to take your pick tool, or you can use your fingers if you can peel it up easy that way, whichever your preference. And we're going to expose that tear and tape. Okay. Your embossed front looks like basic beige. Oh, it is. You're right, Marie. And here you can see on the camera. I said it wrong. Thank you for the correction. Thank you so much for pointing that out. This is basic beige, and we're putting Very Vanilla on the inside. So these 2 colors go very nicely together. Yes, thank you for that, Marie. You're right. It's basic beige on the front. Okay, so we're going to take the longer piece. You have 2 pieces of ribbon. One is short for doing your bow, and the other one is a bit longer for wrapping. Okay, so we're just going to wrap that ribbon around where the DSP meets the cardstock. Okay, so wrap it around and then press it down onto the back like that. And then flip it over. We're going to add that second piece of tear and tape so that this is the tear and tape sandwich that will make it extra secure so that hopefully the ribbon does not wiggle out. There's nothing any worse than putting ribbon on your card and then going to look at it on someone's mantle and the ribbon is wiggled out. Have you ever had that happen? It's not fun. So make sure your ribbon, take the extra time to make sure your ribbon is secure. And then I'm going to take my liquid glue and I'm going to fill in all the other edges here with liquid glue so that this can be nicely secured to the card front. Okay, so we're going to put this down onto the boho blue card base. Love boho blue, such a pretty color. I'm going to miss this color. This is a retiring color. We have it until May 5th, okay? But only while supplies last. So when people start thinking about the retiring colors, Moody Mauve, Boho Blue, Wild Wheat, Pebble Path, and Copper Clay, they are going to be leaving. They are in colors which are only around for 2 years. So they came out in 2023, and now it's time for them to retire. And I'm so sad. I'm always sad to say goodbye to colors. But the good news is we get room for new colors, and they introduced those at the Onstage event this past week that my team and I know Christine's team and her, we were at Onstage in Raleigh, and we got to see those new colors. So they're going to be amazing. You're going to love them. So this is a faux bow. So I was talking while I was doing that, but perhaps you saw me, I slipped it underneath the ribbon. So there is no adhesive under this ribbon. I slipped it underneath and I tied a knot. The beauty of this bow is that you can move it. So if you're like, oh, I have it on the left, but what would it look on the right? Like on the right, you can actually take the ribbon and gently, don't want to rip your card, but you can slide it, right? You can slide it over here and see if you'd rather it on the right. And then you can slide it back if you want to and secure it down. I didn't secure it, it's just sitting there, but you can actually adjust it. And I really like that effect of a faux bow. Okay, so that's the background. For the front, we have this die here. So this is the die from the set. Remember how I was telling you how you get the outside and you also get the inside. So we did, my helpers and I, my friends and I, who were cutting all these pieces, did the outside with Old Olive, then we did the inside with Very Vanilla, and we're going to stamp on the Very Vanilla piece now. So for this one, we're bringing in the bunny from the set that is holding the lettuce, the head of lettuce. Get him on a block like that. And we're going to stamp with Memento. Oh, I know. Marie is sad for Moody Mauve. She loves Moody Mauve. But hopefully, Marie, you've stocked up on it and you can continue to use it, right? That is the beauty of stocking up on these things and continuing to use them in your craft room. Plus, we have some great new colors coming too. Okay, so there's the bunny with his head of lettuce. And for this card, I'm going to stamp on this little tag here. These are from the Unbounded Love. The one from the first card with Petal Pink is also from Unbounded Love. Now this one is, we're going to stamp Happy Spring. Yes, Happy Spring. So let's get that on a block. And we're going to stamp with Memento again. So tap, tap, tap on my Memento. And I like to use my silicone mat to use it as a background so I can see where I'm stamping. So I'm going to use that and then stamp my Happy Spring on there. Tanya says, new colors are nice. My favorite is Strawberry Slush. Yes, I am super excited that Strawberry Slush is returning. Such a beautiful, beautiful color. Okay, let's color our little rabbit here. So we're going to color him with Crumb Cake, both light and dark. I don't want to lose my little gems, so I'll put them right there. So we're going to start off with, I like to start off coloring with the dark and then blend with the lighter color. So we're just going to add a little bit of dark Crumb Cake around his ears, around his face, like that, around his elbow, some little bit of shadowing there on his fur, and down on his little feet. So cute. Okay, so put as much dark as you want, and then, oh, sorry, my head's in the camera. I didn't realize that until I looked up. Okay, so we're going to use the light Crumb Cake and just add that nice tan color to our bunny fur. Okay, and there we go. I love coloring with the blends. Well, I love coloring, period. It's such a relaxing activity. How about you? Let me know in the comments. Do you like to color? What's your favorite thing to do? I love coloring. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of dark Old Olive to the lettuce. And then we're going to blend that out with the light Old Olive. Here we go. Nice green head of lettuce. And then we're going to grab the Boho Blue blends. So if you're looking at adding to your collection, don't forget about the blends. These are gorgeous, gorgeous colors. Boho Blue is a very nice denim color. So we're going to give him some denim shorts with suspenders here. So cute. So I'm lining everything with dark Boho Blue. And then we're going to do the light Boho Blue. So just blend it out. And I have omitted his little bunny tail. I didn't give any color to his tail. So let's do that. Let's bring back the light Crumb Cake and give him a little bit of color on his tail sticking out through his pants there. Okay, so then we go ahead and we put the frame on. And the same way that we attach the house to the inside of the frame, we're going to do that to the bunny as well. So I like to flip it upside down like that, and we're going to grab the tear and tape, and we'll add some right on the seam where the Old Olive and the Very Vanilla meet, like that. There we go. All right, so now let's put a little piece on the top and bottom. You're not going to see this because it's going to be glued down on the card anyway, but I'm just going to put 4 pieces. Make sure it's all nice and secure. Then with this one, I am going to lift up and remove that adhesive backing from there. Whoops, make sure it's burnished good before you lift it up. There we go. All right, so now I have, you know, the tear and tape is super strong, but I want to make sure that this does not fall off my card. So I'm going to come in with my liquid glue and add some liquid glue, maybe some little taps up here on the decorative part, in the middle, along the edges where the tear and tape, there is no tear and tape. There we go. So lots of glue on there so that we can now put this on the front of the card like this. Look how beautiful that frame is. I love the decorative details. So pretty. And then the Happy Spring, we can put that, I'm just going to put it on with some liquid glue here at the bottom. I don't want it to be too thick. The knot from the ribbon takes quite a bit of thickness for your card, so I don't want to add too much bulk. So I'm just going to use a little bit of liquid glue at the bottom, and then we'll attach the Happy Spring down here. Alrighty, so then we've got to do our embellishing. So on the front of the card, we're going to use these textured dots, the adhesive back textured dots. And we've got 3 here. We're going to put one there and one over on this side. And we'll put one up here like that, nice and balanced. Okay, so then the inside of the card, we're going to use our Very Vanilla, and we're going to stamp Somebody Loves You. I love that. Okay, so we'll grab that one. Somebody Loves You. Where are you? Okay, here we go. Somebody Loves You. Get that on a block. We're going to stamp with Memento, and then the cute little bunny that is holding up his beat, we're going to get him onto, whoops, drop my stamp set. Okay, so now we're going to get him onto a block, and we're going to stamp with Memento. Okay, so let's do the greeting first. I like to stamp and then stick, right? So if I make a mistake, I can always flip it over and try again. So let's see how this works out. There's our little bunny. Oh my gosh, so cute. Now we'll add our color. First, always close up your ink pad. Ask me how I know. If you watch me, you know how I know. I make mistakes. And my hand goes in the ink pad. My arm went in there today when I was doing my video. Always fun things that happen in your craft room, right? Okay, so we're adding a little bit of crumb cake, and then we're going to blend with the light crumb cake. Here we go. So cute. And then we have a decision to make about his jacket. He's got a cute little jacket on, and we got his, I'm going to say he's carrying a beet. Looks like a beet. Looks a little bit big to be a radish. I think a beet, or it could be an onion maybe. A little bit more crumb cake on his ear. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to bring in Calypso Coral. You could also do Poppy Parade. I'm looking at the colors in the DSP. You can pull in those colors, right? So let's see. For his jacket, let's do some pumpkin. How about we do pumpkin pie? Pumpkin pie for his jacket. And then for the beet, I'm going to grab some Blackberry Bliss, and we'll color the beet. Here we go. Yummy beet. Okay, so there's the beet, and then we'll do a little bit of pumpkin pie. Let's do the patches and the little pockets. Oh, so cute. Okay, so now we'll grab the light pumpkin pie and then blend it all out. He's got a cute little orange jacket on for spring. I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's add a little more color there. Okay, so now we can put this on the inside of the card, and this one is ready for the mail. Okay, add a little bit of glue, tiny amount of glue to the edges, and pop that inside. Okay, now we are going to do the third card, which is our technique card. And this month, we are playing with a technique that is embossing with your dies. Okay, so there's our second card. We'll put this off to the side. So for this card, you're going to want to grab your pecan pie package. Okay, so the pecan pie is our card color. And inside this one, you're going to have a bunch of pieces. You've got a little bit of white baker's twine. You've got some of that petal pink scallop ribbon. This, but for I just want to mention, I checked just before I went live. This is on low inventory, this petal pink scallop ribbon. So grab it while you can. We have the oval. So we're playing with this die right here. So we cut out the center oval and given it to you in basic white. And we also have, this is from Greetings of the Season, this little tag here for your greeting. And we're going to emboss with this die. Now, you're probably thinking, well, aren't dies supposed to cut? And yes, indeed, they are supposed to cut when you follow the instructions for cutting. But I'm going to share with you the technique is to not cut, but to emboss instead. So here's the piece. This is the front cover of our card. And you can see we have used this die to emboss, and it gives you this beautiful image without cutting through the cardstock. And you can see here at the back, everything is intact. And I'm going to show you how we do this. Okay. And then you have your white piece for the inside. So let's do the technique first, which is embossing on cardstock. So your technique sheet will have your instructions here, and I'm going to go through them right now. So what do you need for embossing? So I'm going to use a piece, I have a piece of petal pink here. We're going to use this one. And the first thing you need is, of course, your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, right? We need that. So let's bring in the layers. So I have my machine. Okay. You need platform number 1, which is your base platform for your machine. Okay. So we need that. Then you're going to need plate number 2. Now, plate number 2 is typically used for cutting, but we're not going to be cutting today. We're going to do something different. But we need plate number 2. Then you're going to need a thick white shim. Okay. So let me just grab that. I have taken a piece of thick white and I actually wrote up here, it's my shim, so that whenever I pull out this technique, I will know that I need this. It's an extra little layer. So we're going to put that down. Then you're going to need your silicone mat. Okay, so your shim, then we need our silicone mat. It's all about the layers, right? Then you're going to need your cardstock. We're going to use petal pink. And then we're going to need whatever die you want to emboss with. So we're going to grab this beautiful detailed oval and we'll put that on top. Okay. And then on the very top of it, to be able to, for it to roll through, we're going to use plate number 4, the dark gray plate that comes with your machine. This plate is typically used for 3D embossing, but we're going to use it on the top of all of this sandwich to do embossing with dies. Okay, so then we're going to roll it all through. And then we'll take a look. Here we go. So when we remove the die, we can see we have an impression, but it did not cut through. It just did the impression. So if you think about all of the dies that you have in your collection at home that are very detailed, wouldn't it be fun to make really cool backgrounds for your cards and your scrapbook pages using these dies with this layering technique for the embossed cardstock? So that is the look at the technique. Now we're going to go ahead and put this beautiful Easter card together. All right. So let me move all my plates out of the way and we'll bring in the card pieces. Okay, so we've got pecan pie. And we've got our petal pink for the front. Then we have 2 pieces of designer series paper. Thank you, Alexina. This is a fun technique that I know you're going to use over and over and over with your dies that you have in your collection. Okay, so we have 2 pieces of the designer series paper, and we're going to use the pattern with the bunnies on it. It just fits this pattern, this card. I love it so much. Okay, so let's grab our glue and get those on. These 2 little pieces of DSP. Here we go. And We'll put one over here, just leaving a little bit of a border on each edge. And again, if you don't have the Storybook Friends stamps or you have other greetings and images, you can use whatever you have at home. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take the oval and we're going to stamp on it. So the oval and the little tag. So I want to grab my silicone mat because then I can see where I'm stamping. So here we go. We're going to stamp the oval. And on the tag, we're going to do, this is an Easter card. So we're going to stamp Easter greetings. So let's grab that one, Easter greetings. And then I want to do the cute little bunny in her dress. So adorable. All right. So now let's get those on a block and we will get our Memento ink. And let me just reach for, okay. I turned my heat up in my craft room and I am roasting, my friends. It's so hot in here. I just had to quickly turn the heat down before I pass out. That would not be fun. You don't want me passing out on this video. The stranger, well, I don't know if anything stranger than that has happened, but whew, it is a spring day, I guess, because I had the heat turned up too high. I may have to open the window and let in some fresh air. It's a good problem to have in my books. I do not like to be cold, and today is nice and warm. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp Easter greetings on my tag here. Boom. Look at that. So easy. And might as well wipe that up and put it back. And then we'll get our little bunny going here. Okay, so the bunny, we're going to pick up the bunny with the block. Stamp with Memento, ink it up with Memento, and she fits on the block perfectly. Love it. Okay. Or she fits on the oval perfectly, I should say. Okay. So put her back in the case, and then we're going to do some coloring. All right. So she is going to have a petal pink dress to match the card. I love how you can coordinate all of the colors, the Stampin' Up! Colors. So we have dark petal pink. So let's do a little bit of dark along the collar of her dress and the cuff and the little waistband. I love it. So I'm going to do that in dark. And I'm going to add a little bit of pink to her nose and a little bit on her ear, like that. And then we'll grab the light petal pink and do the rest of her dress. Blend that out. So cute. Okay, so then for the fur, her fur, we're going to use crumb cake again. Okay, so I'm going to grab my dark crumb cake and do a few little flicks here. Like I basically follow what the artist has done when they design the stamp set, and I just add the dark to those parts of the fur and along the ears like that. And then we can blend it all out with the light crumb cake. If there is a blend that I go through more than another, it is crumb cake. I use crumb cake a lot. It's good for fur. It's good for ground cover. Sand, if you're doing beach themes, beach cards, beach scrapbook pages. I love crumb cake. And then, so that she's not just floating in the air, I like to use, she is so sweet, Vicky. I like to use the crumb cake to put a little ground underneath her feet like that. So I'm just going to color underneath just like that. So it grounds the image, right? Okay, so now we're going to bring in our pieces. So first things first, we can put this whole piece down on the card front. I want to make a lot of Easter cards using this technique. I think it's so fun. Okay, so there's the front of the card. And then we're going to take this oval and put it back in its place. Remember, that came from the exact die, right? So here we go. We're just going to piece it back where it belongs like this. And there she is, standing beautiful like the Easter bunny should. Okay, so now we have our greeting. We're going to take that petal pink ribbon and we're going to feed it through the hole in the tag. Just feed it through like this. And then if you have a friend, granddaughter, husband, niece, whoever is with you, that you can get them to hold this if you want to. But if you're at home alone in your craft room, then grab your reverse tweezers from your embossing essentials pack and use those. These are my friend. Absolutely, I love using these. So just leave the ribbon loose and use your tweezers to hold it. See that? It's just going to hold it together. Then I'm going to take the white baker's twine and I'm going to wrap it around the ribbon close to the tag here. So I'm just going to, I hope you can see my fingers. I'm just wrapping it. I'm going to tie a double knot here so that this does not come loose. So this is a fun, easy way to attach ribbon without tearing your tag. Because if I tried to feed both ends of that petal pink ribbon through the tag, I probably would have risked tearing the tag. So I'll hold this a little closer so you can see. I've got my knot there. And now I am going to just bring in my snips and snip this up here. Just trim the white. I don't need a lot of the white baker's twine showing. Snip that. And then we're going to trim the ribbon on an angle like so. And that's the look that I wanted. Just a nice, neat little ribbon on there to match the card. Of course, as I always say, everything in the Stampin' Up! World coordinates. I love this. This is my favorite thing about using Stampin' Up! Products. You never, ever have to worry about product coordination. So this greeting is going to go on dimensionals. Let me grab a couple of those. It is such a sweet card, Julie. Yes, thank you so much. I love this little bunny. And the paper, the designer series paper with the bunnies. So pretty. And this paper was not available for quite a while, and it's now back in stock. So go grab your DSP while you can. And then also with the Storybooks Friends Suite, we've got the antique pearls. Oh, these are so awesome. So I've got 3 of them here. We're going to use the big one. We'll put it down here on the petal pink. And then we're going to use a couple of them up in this open space up here on the top right hand side of the card. And there we have it, my friends. Such a wonderful technique to emboss with dies. And there's the front. For the inside of this card, we're going to stamp Somebody Loves You and the other little bunny, because there's another one. So many bunnies in this set. So here we go. We're going to grab our basic white piece for the inside and the Somebody Loves You. Did I put that back into my case? Let's see here. Somebody Loves You. Nope, it's still on a block. Here it is. Okay, so Somebody Loves You. And we're going to grab the small little bunny here. This little one right there. Little baby bunny. Come on here, baby bunny. All right, so let's get the baby bunny on a block. And we will put that on the inside. All right. So fun. Tap, tap, tap. Somebody loves you. Easter bunny. Okay, and then baby bunny. Baby. So cute. Oh, look, there's a baby bunny right there on the front of my card too. And you could do your bunnies in gray. You can see on the DSP. If you're ever wondering what color to color things, like take a look at what they've used, the design artists have used on the DSP. So we're going to give him a little pink nose, a little bit on his ear. And then we're going to use the crumb cake again. All right, there we go. A little bit of dark crumb cake to make some shadows. And then we'll blend it all together with the light crumb cake. Okay, there we go. So cute. If you were to pick the grays, you could use smoky slate, gray granite if you wanted to. But I really liked the crumb cake for the bunnies. So that's what I chose to do on my card. Alrighty, let's put this together. This has been a fun class. I hope you enjoy trying out the dies that you have at home to do embossing with them. Instead of cutting, you can emboss and, you know, make your creativity flow even further by doing something different than what was intended with the product, right? So there we have it. We'll bring all of the cards back in. And then we have this one as well. So kind of an easy, fun fold. Fun. I hope you enjoyed this class. And I hope you will enjoy making more cards using the emboss with dies technique. Let me just flip you back around here. This was a blast. I had a blast with you guys. Thank you again for spending the time with me. Thank you, Vicki. Thank you, Gail. I'm so happy you like these. And if you have any questions, please let me know. You can comment below this video or send me a private message. I'd be happy to help you. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you will come back and join me again, me and Christine, for another Technique Club class. All right, take care, everyone. I will chat with you really soon. Thank you, Marjan. Thank you so much. All right. And you're going to try this one, Lynn. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy it. Think about your dies in a different way. I'm sure you have detailed dies that would be so fun to use as a background on your cards and your scrapbook pages. All righty. Bye for now. We'll chat soon. Bye-bye.